Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I was Alex, and I was at the top of my game. As a lead architect for Tech Solutions Corp., I had a reputation for delivering complex software projects on time, under budget, and with innovative flair. My latest endeavor, the Apex Protocol, was critical. It was set to be the cornerstone of the company's Q4 financial success, and I was pouring my heart and soul into it. My boss, Quentin, head of development, seemed to be my biggest advocate. He praised my work, gave me autonomy, and was always ready with a pat on the back. But beneath the facade, I sensed a simmering avarice. That suspicion grew when I started seeing invoices from a new, obscure, specialized consultancy called Innovate Flow Solutions. They were billing for tasks my trusted in-house team or long-standing external contractors usually handled. Quentin waved off my concerns, insisting Innovate Flow brought unique expertise. Then came Felicia Vance, Quentin's new senior advisor on my project, with suspiciously thin credentials. Suddenly, my budget was tighter, my access to crucial external tools was restricted, and some critical training for my team was inexplicably canceled. The Apex Protocol started to lag, and Quentin, with a masterful sleight of hand, began subtly implying my management was the problem. Just as I was about to hit my breaking point, a new opportunity arose. I was offered a lateral transfer to a legacy maintenance project in a different state, a professional graveyard. This came at the absolute worst time. My partner was months away from a critical career exam, and we had just invested heavily in our dream home. Declining the transfer meant accepting a severance package. Feeling cornered and unfairly scapegoated, I took the severance, my career path seemingly derailed by circumstances I couldn't understand. Months later, a former colleague reached out, hinting at Quentin's unusual spending habits and Felicia's meteoric rise within my old team, followed by her filling my empty slots with her own unqualified friends. The pieces clicked into place, fueling a slow burn of fury. I started digging. Pre-internet, this meant cold calls, leveraging old networks, and tedious dives into corporate registries. What I found made my blood run cold. Innovate Flow Solutions was nothing more than a P.O. box in a town Quentin used to live in, registered to Felicia Vance, not her real maiden name, but one she used for corporate filings. She had no real qualifications for the role she'd supposedly been filling. Quentin had been siphoning my project's vital funds, funneling them into his mistress's ghost company, and then blaming me for the resulting delays and budget overruns. He hadn't just stolen money, he had stolen my reputation, my stability, and tried to steal my future. I was livid. The standard let-it-go advice was useless here. This was a betrayal of such magnitude that I knew, with absolute certainty, he had to pay. I couldn't just tell the company. I was a disgruntled ex-employee. I needed to construct something undeniable, something that would dismantle his life as he had dismantled mine. My plan began to form, a meticulous long con tailored to his vanity. I remembered Quentin's two great obsessions, vintage cars and high-end bourbon. His office was a shrine to both, and he'd incessantly prattle on about his next acquisition or rare finds. This was my hook. I would become Arthur Finch, a senior partner at a prestigious, utterly fictional European executive search firm, Griffon Global Talent. I acquired a burner phone with a UK number, set up a legitimate-looking email domain, and even designed convincing letterheads. An old friend from London, a former acting student, made the initial cold call, dropping tantalizing hints about a confidential, high-level opportunity. The bait I dangled was irresistible. A director of acquisitions and client experience role for Monarch Automotive Group, a fictional high-end vintage car auction house based in Monaco. The job description was Quentin's wet dream: global travel to source rare vehicles, hosting exclusive client events in exotic locales, an extravagant budget for market research, code for acquiring rare bourbons for clients, a staggering salary, massive bonuses, and a company-provided classic car. Quentin bit hard. Over several weeks, I, as Arthur Finch, conducted a series of interviews, phone calls, video conferences, using a deepfake voice changer and a carefully curated virtual background. I fed his ego, discussing his expertise in vintage engines and tasting notes, making him feel like the only man for the job. The final stage was an in-person interview and onboarding session in Nice, France, at a 5-star hotel. Crucially, I scheduled this for the exact week of Tech Solutions Corp's annual Q4 project review, a mandatory meeting Quentin, as head of development, absolutely could not miss without severe repercussions. I made sure he knew the dates. Quentin panicked, calling me as Arthur about missing the review. I calmly offered a solution. Monarch Automotive could move the appointment up a couple of days if he fronted the cost for a first-class ticket and the luxury hotel's suite. Monarch would, of course, reimburse him in full upon his official start. He eagerly agreed, booking the most expensive flight and a lavish suite, his credit card surely screaming in protest. Quentin flew to Nice, checked into his opulent suite, high on the prospect of his new life. The next morning, a polite email arrived. Due to an unforeseen urgent corporate crisis, your final appointment with Monarch Automotive Group has been rescheduled to next Monday. We apologize for the inconvenience and look forward to meeting you then. Enjoy your extended stay. Quentin called Arthur in a frenzy. I calmly reassured him. Don't worry, Quentin. This opportunity is yours. Just call in sick to Tech Solutions for the week. They're yesterday's news. Your future is with us. He bought it. He emailed his director, claiming a sudden, severe illness. While Quentin was sipping champagne at his hotel, thousands of dollars flowing from his personal accounts, I made my move. I called Tech Solutions Corp's HR department, posing as a background check investigator for a legitimate firm. I casually asked to verify Quentin Wallace's employment dates. The HR representative, following protocol, forwarded me to his direct supervisor, Director Elaine Davies. To Elaine, I apologized for the misunderstanding, explaining I was confirming his resignation as he was starting his new role at Monarch Automotive Group the following week. He mentioned he'd already given notice and was in Nice finalizing details. I feigned embarrassment. Oh, was I not supposed to know that yet? My apologies. Sometimes candidates are a bit premature with their announcements. I hung up before she could fully process what I just said. The silence that followed was deafening, then utterly delicious. I learned the aftermath through industry whispers and a few carefully placed inquiries with former colleagues who had no idea I was the architect of his demise. Quentin, after a weekend of lavish spending and increasingly frantic calls to Griffon Global Talent, which now went straight to voicemail, finally realized he'd been duped. He flew home in a rage, likely thousands of dollars poorer. He arrived to an empty office. His company laptop and phone had been remotely deactivated. An HR courier met him off-site the next day to hand him a termination letter for job abandonment and gross misconduct, along with a severance package reduced by the company car's value. The internal investigation into his project budgets, sparked by my accidental call, quickly uncovered the Innovate Flow Solutions fraud. Felicia, his mistress, was immediately fired and blacklisted from the industry. I heard his wife left him not long after, taking a significant chunk of his assets, likely spurred by the fraud and his philandering. Quentin Wallace, once a rising star, was a pariah. His professional reputation was shattered, his personal life in tatters, and his bank account severely depleted. He lost his job, his partner, and faced legal repercussions for the fraud. The last I heard, he was struggling to find even entry-level work outside of tech. He tried to steal my future. I ensured he had no future to steal. Some lessons are best taught with a long, painful fall.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.